Welcome to Research Business Daily Report, made possible by RBDR's exclusive community at patreon.com. Please visit patreon.com/RBDR. You'll make it worth our while and vice versa. I'm Bob Lederer. Is there a new emerging trend that involves the job responsibilities of client market researchers? Well, there could be. It's early, but our friend Bill Harvey has personally noticed something that's happening to a few of his current client research department buddies, and we think it may be an indication of, quote-unquote, something to watch. Bill?
Commerce. Interestingly enough, a couple of friends of mine working at marketing research positions at traditional CPG companies have recently been reassigned to be the champion of e-commerce, to learn everything about it and to be able to create an e-commerce strategy for traditional CPG packaged goods companies. That's to me very interesting because it seems to form a pattern, and I've given it a little bit of thought. Of course, I started to talk about e-commerce in my newsletter, it was in the early 1980s. And one of the things that I stressed back then that I'm remembering is the idea of a buy button. It should be easy to make a buy, one click to make a buy. Of course, Amazon today with the one-click buy has become a force of nature. Another thing I recall from the early days thinking about CPG and direct-to-consumer relationships was the idea that if you had a product that was heavy, I thought the heavy product, the idea of home delivery made so much sense. Water gets heavy, beer, any beverage, liquids are very heavy for people to carry. I always thought that would be a niche in the marketplace. Of course, Chewy has more or less proved that in terms of home delivery of pet food. There isn't a natural connection. It's a good point because a researcher theoretically could research any new field. So I think that's the link, the idea that, we need somebody who can dig in and start with not knowing anything about a subject and quickly become up to speed about it. I think that might be the idea. So, when you start to look at e-commerce, one of the first things you start to ask for is, how can I track e-commerce sales? And I've actually found some new sources for that. But then, you have to think beyond what are you going to do with this knowledge? Are you going to try to make e-commerce sales? Back 10, 15 years, 20 years ago, in conversations with big CPG companies, whenever I brought this subject up, they always said, well, we can't defend the store chains. We're dependent on them. And I always thought and said, they're doing private labels. They're doing it to you. It's fair to go. Both of you guys have other relationships, other channels. In terms of direct sales, what would you try to sell? Would it be all of your brands or specific brands? And what would be the advantage? Certainly discounting. If you don't have to pay the store, you're going to be able to give good discounts. A subscription model like we have for coffee, where we get a certain amount of coffee every month, and it's easily adjustable. They're easy people to work with. All of these DTC companies are more than just e-commerce companies. They're also personal human relationship companies.
What's been the reaction among the two people that you're referring to about having to make this transition? Do they want that kind of a challenge? Is it something that maybe they are really interested in because it is so different?
They love it. It's rising to a challenge. It's being singled out for a distinction. It's being treated as a promotion in both cases, so they're very excited by it. It's like a rebirth opportunity. These aren't new kids. These are pros, and they're being given a second life. I think they actually love it.
That's your Research Business Daily Report, made possible by members of our exclusive community on the crowdfunding platform patreon.com. RBDR is produced thanks to the interest as well as the generosity of regular viewers who've decided to support our daily news videos. We always acknowledge our latest RBDR patrons, and you can go to the top of that list of cited supporters with just a little bit of a contribution. Please join our community by visiting patreon.com/RBDR, where you can select the level of patronage, small or large, that best suits you. Have a great research day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.